We're gonna be live.
Yay!
Hey!
We're live.
I didn't take anybody off because I'm not as cool as Jason. Also, I don't know where the intro is. There's so many videos here.
All right. Well, I'm doing the intro now. Merry Ballsmas from our friends over at Manscaped. The holidays are approaching, but what if I told you that the celebrations are starting early this year? It turns out the perfect gift does exist, and who else to bring it down your chimney than the leaders in the below-the-waist grooming? Keep calm and let your balls jingle this season with Manscaped's brand new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. Featuring the new Lawnmower 5.0, watch all your wishes and mistletoe kisses come true. Look nice when you're going naughty by going to manscaped.com and use the code 3GEEKS. That's the number 3, GEEKS, 3GEEKS, for 20% off and free shipping. Unwrap the gift of smoothness this season with Manscaped.
Awesome. Good work.
Mistletoe kisses.
Mistletoe.
Hey, I think I found the intro. Surprise.
So worth it.
To me, it was 5 seconds of
Nice.
who did the thing.
Nice shirt, by the way, Justin. I forgot.
Hey,
to
you're
say.
welcome. Thank you, rather. Not you're welcome.
Ooh.
This is
Yeah, I dig it.
mhm.
I want one. I can put it right next to my,
Well, if Mike has a link to
Kaiju
his
t-shirt.
thing, I don't have it offhand, but feel free
Is
to
that on,
post it.
is
or
that
I'll
on
post it.
T Public?
It's on that T
Yeah.
Public where you got your Chat Cave shirt as well.
Nice.
Might as well do my own plug while we're at it.
Yeah, please do it.
I had to make myself the extra large rum and coke. My wife's friend brought her baby over, and
Everyone knows you love babies.
that's a hard pass for me. I'm gonna go to the liquor. Thank you.
Well, folks couldn't tell. Jason is AWOL, so I left the children to play. So
Yeah.
He's here in
have a good time.
spirit.
He's
Quote him.
here somewhere.
He's taking the night.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he's
He's-
probably
he's-
Batman.
he's
yes.
doing a Batman thing. I guess.
Yeah.
Going to Batman. Like if Jason was actually ultra rich and like driving around at night beating people up, I would be so impressed just because like never would have saw it coming. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they're like, who's the Batman? I'm like, definitely not that guy.
right.
The physical media collection is a cover. You pull like Ace Ventura on the mantle, and it like reveals the Batcave.
Yeah. Oh,
Has
God,
a little
you know?
red phone that just drops down.
Yep, exactly.
It wouldn't be Ace Ventura though because he actually wants to watch that movie. So
Not
he
Frankie.
wouldn't.
He'd be constantly doing it then because he's like watching that 10 times a week.
No, but the Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, that's the trigger. That's
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a segue. He just instead of like a Batmobile, Jason's just out solving crime on a segue.
on a Segway. I'll be there in 4.5 hours. Hopefully that charge lasts.
But it'll be a smooth
Detective,
ride.
I don't stop the crime. I solve it.
Oh, good.
Almost as smooth as the deal you get at Manscaped.
Ooh,
Oh.
I love it. Look
Oh
at
man,
this.
thank you, man. Yes, he gets to read it next time.
Yep, you win.
To go back to our previous Saturday's call when we talked about physical media and the importance of it, I don't know if everyone saw in our local chat the PlayStation note that Jason sent, but I guess PlayStation is getting rid of certain TV shows and just deleting it from their environment, and you're just out of luck if you purchase them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the problem.
Mhm.
You know, it's if you enjoy the thing, it can just go away forever.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why, like a lot of movies didn't make it from VHS to DVD. A lot of movies didn't make it from DVD to Blu-ray, and and they're just gone. Like there's no other way to see them. So like physical media is important. It's like I definitely want at least the availability of something, and it sucks when they're just like, you know what, like you don't. Like we need to write off X, Y, and Z for taxes this year.
Right.
So that's gone. Goodbye. Like we don't want to pay anybody, so it's gone. Goodbye. Like that's that.
I mentioned this in the chat, I believe, yesterday when I was watching it, but there's this movie out on Netflix called Please Leave the World Behind. It's like, techno suspense thriller from the guy who made Mr. Robot and has Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, Mahershala Ali,
Okay,
people
yeah,
in it.
I saw a trailer for that.
It's okay, but I kind of love the irony at the very end. There's this drop of like, "Hey, physical media," and I'm like, "This is a Netflix movie promoting this."
Right. Yeah.
Huh?
But I mean,
Weird.
Netflix used to be physical, like
It
even
used to
Netflix,
be.
like
That's right. That came to an end just
Yeah,
like a couple weeks ago. They stopped it completely, like last month, I think. Right?
right.
No
And
more
it's just like,
in the mail.
wow, like because I remember. I remember ordering movies. I worked at Blockbuster, and I was ordering movies off of Netflix. Like it's crazy.
I was watching a video a couple days ago of a guy giving a tour of his physical media collection on YouTube. And he mentioned like Family Video. Was that an exclusive Ohio retail store?
Indiana had it too.
Indiana had it too? Okay.
Kind of like the Midwestern kind of.
Yeah, okay. The way he was talking about it, he was like, only in Ohio could I like get some of the stuff that I got, over at Family Video and stuff. I'm like, huh, really? Because I did rent from Family Video my last summer in Ohio. I was writing a project and I was looking for inspiration, and Blockbuster at this point was like shuttered. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna rent some stuff, and so I went to Family Video. I'm like, oh, let's get this and this.
I think that's out of business now too, right?
Yeah. They finally, they
Which bummed me out because that was like the only one in the area. So I grew up around a town called Kendallville, and that's in northern Indiana. And like that was like the main shop people would go to for Main Street. Like they would be that, and there's a movie theater down there that's like community owned, so tickets are super cheap. So like movies are pretty cool. But that went out of business. But I learned two or three summers before it closed that like if you worked there, they paid for your college. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
At least the one from Kendallville did. Like, yeah. I was like, we realize we're not the end destination for a lot of people's careers.
Sure.
We're gonna be like, we're gonna offer you a cool thing. There you go.
That definitely helps. I mean,
obviously college is expensive, and like you're not earning
caveats and stuff to everything
in college, so like that's super cool, and like. Maybe more businesses should think along these lines. Like,
well, that also is the issue is that by businesses, we're thinking with regards to like a lot of the local mom and pop, like kind of, do your own thing sort of shops that self-starters or self-management to some degree, kind of probably along the lines of what you're doing, Max. But, everything's so tied into like a huge chain or a huge corporation of stuff at this point. Like, I don't know. There was something around our area, I remember, where it was like we had the Dollar Theater, and then right next to it we had Half Price Books.
Yep.
I love Half Price Books.
That's where it's still there then. So I might stop by there during the
Half Price Books is a treasure trove of physical media. I'm so surprised when I go in there. I'm like, wow, they're doing. They got records. They got they DVDs, books, obviously, but like they got comic books in there. I go comic book shopping all the time in Half Price Books. Like they're doing it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. And also, Netflix stopped their DVD services on September 29th.
Okay, so even
very recent.
Earlier,
recent. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I just had to show off. I know I talked briefly about going to Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
But I got Jonan Vasquez. Sorry. Autograph on the Gur Pop there. I'm like, I looked at it the other day and I was like, wow, that just makes me so happy.
Yeah. Gur is so fun.
Dude, Gur's the best.
Yeah. Now, did she do all the voices for Zim? Or
no. So
just specifically.
Yeah, it's Ricky. Oh God, I can't remember his last name. Ricky something voices Gur, but somebody else voices Zim.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering. All right.
That was a show that always bummed me out that it didn't last as long as I thought it should have. Like that ended to me. It felt early, but
it did. It didn't get it like the full time, but also like hey, like at least we got what we got, and at least it was all like solid. They did go back to it. They made
the movie. I saw the movie.
And the movie like didn't hit exactly right for me, but like I was like, all right, guys, like. I'm just happy you're back, but yeah, like we got a thing. It ended. That sucks, but at least we have a thing. That's
I agree.
And at least it didn't overstay its welcome.
It's always what I try not to do.
Well, yeah, it's like Dexter's Lab with Gendy Tartakovsky. Like he leaves, they try to continue the show, and it's like, no, you're not. Like just let it go.
Yeah,
you had
it's done.
the thing, let it be its own thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Boondocks, another one where it's like, hey, the original showrunner decided that he's done. We need to just end it here. No, we're gonna try and fail. Like that's
That's awesome. So to pivot away from that a little bit, did Max see
that.
the new Magic the Gathering set, the Clue whodunit piece of it? Like,
yes,
are you excited for it?
Murders at Karlov Manor.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people like dumping on this, but I'm like, this is kind of what I expected to see from Hasbro as far as like their their
IP crossing.
Yeah. And it can be fun, again, like I just want the set to be good, like whatever flavor they're trying to do. Like a whodunit murder mystery is fun. That's fine, as long as it's done well. So like a lot of people are poo-pooing it right off the bat. It's like they're talking about it like it's Battleship the movie, and I don't think it's that. Like it doesn't not make sense in that way, the same way like Battleship the movie that just didn't make sense. Yeah. But so yeah, like I what I don't like is that there's already announced like 7 different possible arts for like every card.
That's frustrating. Yeah,
so like you're not gonna know who's playing. You're never gonna know what card is being played against. You're gonna have to like read the whole card the whole time, like every time. Mm-hmm. And this is just like you're gonna find eventually that the original basic boring card art is the most expensive one, just because it's the hardest one to find. Yeah. So like I don't like how they're doing that. I've never been a fan of that. So like that would be the major criticism I have for this set. But like I hope it's good. Like I just hope it's fun. And like I hope they do something cool with the like for the limited. So for draft or
that'd be fun.
Or sealed. Like if you can have some sort of like murder mystery Among Us kind of situation while you're playing, that that would be really cool. So
I had the same thought. Like you almost like, not to pull from Yu-Gi-Oh too hard, but if you have like a Clue set, like the lead pipe with a certain type of like legendary creature with a certain type of event, you automatically win like something. Or you get, like treasure tokens. Yeah. But like it's like the core functionality of Clue. Like you have a room, you have like an artifact,
a person, a place, and a thing.
Yeah, right. That'd be fun.
That's an interesting dynamic, too, especially if you're like applying it for more of the, like you said, fantasy turn-based setup. Like, how would that be applicable? I'd be curious to see that mechanic in action, in play.
Mm-hmm. And like if you do something cool like that gives the set playability past like, okay, hey, there's like 14 powerful cards in here, and there's like, okay, there's a foil that I want.
Right.
Like if people want to draft, or play this set like just to play the Clue game, that just adds all kinds of fun and value to it. That like that's not going to really cost the game makers anything else.
Right.
So it's like,
to me, it's the perfect like thing to sneak into like a pre-release. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, those nights are already fairly long, so like have a little game inside of it, or like those pre-release boxes. Maybe that the set has like a thing that you can play with. That's like,
that would be so dope if you get like a little wrench or lead pipe in your pre-release kit. Like I'm totally down for that.
It'd be super fun. But yeah.
Speaking of games, did any of you guys check out the Video Game Awards stuff?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate cleaned up.
Shame on you guys for doing Spider-Man 2 so dirty, but
it was, what was it, like 7? Because I've been seeing my feeds, because I have a lot of people who play Spider-Man 2 and like were up in arms, like 7 nominations, but nothing won.
No wins.
Yeah, they got rough.
It's they needed to throw something. Like they didn't even give him like soundtrack or like something, like throw him a bone, but like no, they Baldur's Gate 3. I've heard, but it actually is available on Xbox now, so I can start playing.
Go play it. It is phenomenal.
But friggin', Spider-Man 2 is also an exceptional.
Very good.
game.
Yeah, we should have given them something. To your point,
Yeah,
they should have gotten a thing, whatever that thing is.
or like, and I don't understand why they can't just be like, you know what, like we can't decide which one is better. Like, why not have a tie? Like hey,
A
like
co-game of the year.
yeah, like these, like because they're totally different games.
Well, because then there won't be publicity drummed up about the awards in general, unless there was a clear cut like winner that people could get either really excited or really polarized about.
Right.
In a way, it's kind of like the actual like the Academy Awards, where it's like you know they keep pushing like let's get the fantasy, science fiction, superhero stuff in there, and then it loses to a little bit more of like a drama or prestige thing, which is sometimes the case, but.
Yeah, and like also like this is why I can't stand the award shows and this like awards stuff, because like Baldur's Gate is trying to do something wholly different than Spider-Man 2 is. And like
it's a different genre. It's a different experience. The whole thing.
Everything.
The whole thing.
And like they should not be in competition with each other. And it's like, okay, if I watch Cocaine Bear and I am the most entertained from Cocaine Bear.
I have never heard you laugh more in a movie theater, by the way.
I mean, dude, Cocaine Bear is so good. But like I also understand that like this isn't, like high, like my brain isn't being forced to work here. Like, but I on the other hand, I am the most entertained from this.
Yeah.
But they like you're never gonna see Cocaine Bear at the Oscars. Like that's not
right. Yeah.
If they bring in the star actor and just a bear coked up in the corner, like don't get too close to that guy.
But I mean, also at this point, like someone was mentioning, like this is something that maybe other award shows like the Oscars and stuff should take from the video game awards. It's not so much even about the wins as it is about the announcements. Like, was it the Hideo Kojima Jordan Peele game? Like, I'm legit kind of curious about that.
That'll be fun.
It's got Udo Kier in it. I'm like, okay.
We might do this.
I am interested.
So like my son barely plays his PS5, so I'm about to commandeer that thing so I can play Spider-Man. But, but also like Baldur's Gate just came to the Xbox, so I'm gonna be playing that. I want to play them equally. So
I feel like it'd be a great time for you and your wife, because I mean you guys both are Gloomhaven, Frosthaven people. Like I feel like that's right.
Oh yeah, and there's actually a Gloomhaven video game out that I'm kind of interested to play too. But I think Baldur's Gate is still gonna be the top dog in that.
It's still gonna be better than. I mean, Gloomhaven's great, but Baldur's Gate is like.
I am so like frustrated with my Frosthaven right now because like it's still just sitting right there. We need to have like a 3 Geeks Frosthaven.
I thought
session.
Okay, not to get too personal, but I thought you guys had like a game night with friends and stuff.
We did, but like life happens, and like we have gotten away from the game night, and we mostly play like online video. Like we've been playing Diablo 4 with those friends. Okay. So it's kind of harder for them to travel, but like I was like I need to play this stupid game. Like I need to play it.
I have a giant table in my basement, and come on over. And Mike, are you back in Ohio anytime soon? We should do it.
I did mention I was coming back. It's going to be a limited engagement. I'm booked solid. So.
No, you don't have.
We bring in Frosthaven, and Mike's all of a
sudden
out.
You don't have 4 to 7 hours just carved out of your stable.
Yeah, I know. 4 to 7 hours to just meander around. Thinking I can roll higher than maybe a 15.
No, but say I gotta get some game time in for the Frosthaven.
Yeah, please bring it over.
Definitely gotta happen.
I mean, I'll come to you, but I just redid that table, so I want you.
I'm totally good. And my house is full of dogs and children, so I
Well, bring your dog over. My dog needs people.
But even if I bring my dog over to your house, that's still half of the amount of dogs that I have in my house at any given time. So no, that's definitely going to happen. We'll work that out. Maybe we can make that in some sort of stream or video. But
there you go. That's the way to go these days. Just stream your gameplay throughout. Like people will tune in for that.
Yeah. So
if you can get like camera angles set up or like over the head and.
So the cool thing about Gloomhaven, Frosthaven is like the maps. You kind of like you get map pieces and you build a puzzle of the map you put that together to start. So like the maps change, but it's really easily and Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You're supposed to die a lot, so like don't get too frustrated with the game if you're not like completing your scenarios. But
Right.
yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I'm 100% for it, obviously, because I spent $425.
I was there when you bought it. Like,
Oh, dude, like, and I was happy. Like, and dude,
you were very
like
happy.
carrying it out to my car. I had to like change hands like 40 times because it was the box was just heavy. It's like 50 pounds.
I still remember we were at it was Origins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were like, I have to call the wife. Call the wife. We did 2 laps, and you got a text like, do it. It's like, all right, we ran over.
and then like I gave her the options. I was like, I can get the cheap one and the expensive one. She said do it. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting the expensive one. She didn't specify whatever. And then like I get home with this $400 freaking board game, and my wife was like, you spent how much on this?
Yeah.
I was
Don't
like,
look at the
hey,
receipt for a while.
but look,
Yeah.
it comes with all this cool stuff that you can put in the box.
They decked you out though. Like you got like boxes
no.
upon boxes upon
Dude,
boxes.
I got like
of
the
stuff.
whole Kickstarter startup set.
Yeah,
like
you got the special.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's super cool. But yeah, I need to play. I need to actually make the purchase worth the money that I spent.
Max, I think you'd have to play a lot more than the one time at my house if we're gonna do that.
But multiple times at your house, then it'll be worth it.
You got to invest time.
Yeah.
Again, he was saying what 4 to 7 hours.
Yeah,
Sure.
for the first first session. That'll
First session.
4 to 7 hours. The first 2 hours is just everyone getting their characters together and figuring out how to do this.
It's
we
not a
played
problem.
Crosshaven before. We played it at Origins the year before. It was
Yeah, and
like
what was
curated
cool,
scenario.
Yeah, what was cool about that was the dude that was just playing the bad guys. Like that is a lot of the it's like, well, would the monster do this? Like so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was cool that they had it, and it made it run a lot smoother. So like, yeah, I guess I could do that. Like, I've played the game enough. Like, I played Gloomhaven enough. So like, I could run.
I'm not gonna have you spend $400 and you not play the game outside of like.
But I am playing the game. I'm murdering all of you.
Fair enough.
Wow.
7 hours of Max killed Justin.
Yeah. While subtly gaslighting you into thinking that you don't know what you're doing.
Are you having fun? Oh, you did that wrong.
Oh no, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's rules. See, column 3, section B.
Yeah. Oh
No.
Dude, what did you try to do? No. Ooh,
Yeah.
Sorry. If you would have tried that, you could have done that.
A true type of fantasy villain, the one that kills you with the red tape and bureaucracy.
Page 7 says you're an idiot.
Oh no, I'm the worst kind of DM. The murderous DM. Like, no, the story will run how I want it to.
We'll get to the story, but I'll get you caught up in the fine print of the story.
The lawyer hated.
Yes.
Man, that's crazy.
All right.
Oh, I want to add this thing because I saw this going around too. Because we're at the end of the year, and next year we're gonna have the Academy Awards and stuff, and there's already like the short list being created for a lot of the different categories.
Sure.
People were really upset that like there were 20 films in the running for getting nominated for visual effects, and Oppenheimer didn't make the cut. Which I'm kind of like, yeah, that is weird, but just convinces me that Christopher Nolan actually detonated a nuke. Like that wasn't a special.
It's not an effect.
He just filmed a nuke.
He created Godzilla.
He went to
There you go. Good
to
thing.
China and set off a nuclear explosion. No, this is fine. It's for.
Is it visual effects if you're able to time travel back to the Trinity test and film it? I don't think so.
It's effects, not visual.
Right. Well, no, it was weird too because on that short list for potential nominations is also Across the Spider-Verse, which is like, I can understand Spider-Verse being nominated for Best Animated Feature to go along with Best Picture. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. But like Best Visual Effects, because the whole movie's a visual effect.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's an animation.
So then should it be excluded?
I don't know.
They're like, you only spent 7 minutes in visual effects. We did 100.
Yeah. No, I just found it interesting that it's like that's on the short list for visual effects, but it's entirely animated. Which
I
is
see your point. Maybe 2 separate categories.
Spider-Verse can win.
I mean, whatever. Yeah.
You know what? They're gonna let Spider-Verse win all the categories as a.
Sorry for your video game loss.
Yeah, for Spider-Man 2.
Right.
Disrespect. As the mea culpa.
I'm just crossing my fingers that Mutant Mayhem gets an on, because it'll be the first time I think that a Ninja Turtles movie gets an Oscar nomination.
Mutant Mayhem was good too. Like I was a little worried about the art style going in, but like I loved it. I thought it was thought it was very, very well done. I just loved all the different takes on a lot of stuff that they had in that one.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm 100% behind it. I dug that movie.
Fun.
All right.
And speaking of mutants,
let's talk Kaiju. The titular episode title, and we're getting into it halfway through. That sounds like us. That feels like us.
That's about right.
Yeah. Godzilla. All right.
Oh no, it is Godzilla.
I can't place him anywhere without getting in front of the mic. Damn. Sit there, buddy.
All right. So we'll do -1 first, just because I really liked it. Boop.
Yeah, I really want to see this movie. I haven't even seen the trailer. I just heard good things.
No, -1 was amazing.
So good. I loved this movie. You like Godzilla at all?
Godzilla?
So good.
So good.
So many
I saw
people
it
died
in
just
theaters. They are not dead, Max.
all those people are dead. All those people are dead.
True.
Yeah, hence why it's called -1. That's apparently an actual official designation.
政府はこの情報を国民に伏せています。
誰かが貧乏くじ引かなきゃなんねんだよ。
みんな死んだぞ。この恥知らず。 その怪物は
I really enjoyed this.
くれない。
Watching this trailer now with the context of the full movie hits differently.
-1.
Yeah.
Yep.
So much fun.
And dare I say, like, the human drama part of it was actually, like, really engaging.
That was what I was going to say, because I mean, to me, we're talking kaiju tonight, and I was like, what makes a good kaiju movie? And it's like the pairing of a good story that's without the monsters, and then having a bunch of cool monsters that you see fight and kill stuff and do cool things with. You know what I mean? Like having a good blend of a story with that. I think they did it really well.
Like the character, like I did not at first. I was kind of like, how much am I going to check out whenever they do scale things down to just the human point of view? But I was like riveted for the whole like broken family drama thing that's going on there and PTSD galore.
Yeah.
And I think also the time period is great placement, because even the original Godzilla, when that came out in like I think 54, it was taking place like in that time where Japan had a little bit more of a recovery period. I mean, not as immediate, obviously, but like they'd had a fair amount of years separated between them and the bombings and so forth. This movie is set like pretty much immediately after like the Tokyo bombings, pretty much immediately after Japan, like it said there, is on its last legs as a nation.
Yeah,
and so it's just,
the setting is what I really love too. It's like going from trying to recover from a war to having a giant kaiju also try to mess with your city. Like, that's a lot.
Yep.
They portrayed it well.
Yeah, I think a lot is like the understatement.
Understatement.
When you're trying to recover from being bombed into submission, the very last thing you want to deal with is a 600-foot radioactive lizard.
Yep.
that breathes fire. No, it's like that looks sweet. I know we were talking a few weeks back about this time period and just how engaging it is, and yeah, it's good to see a lot of art and you know, just like from the Japanese people and like how they were, you know, like recovering from all that, and yeah, I really dig it. I'm super stoked to see this movie. I'm hoping I can get out to see it in the theaters.
Please do.
Yeah, I want to. It's just, you know, the life.
Right, the life. Sure. I liked it. It was so many different types of movies all at once. Like, yeah, the family drama stuff, war, picture, period drama. Jaws movie at one point.
Yeah. I was like, did Godzilla become Jaws? I had the same thought.
I was like, this is really cool, actually. Which makes sense because he spends quite a bit of time in past movies in the water, but they never actually like milk that for what it's worth. It's like you have this apex predator just swimming around out there, like, yeah. Do a Jaws.
I love that. Also, in this, go ahead, sir.
Oh, sorry. No, it's like if you're doing a Jaws, like, you know, like, oh, we're gonna need a bigger boat. Like,
oh, they get the bigger boat. It doesn't mean shit.
Right. No, I'm saying like it's you know, in Jaws they're on a small boat and the shark is terrorizing them. But I'm like, think of the size of the boat that would even catch Godzilla's attention. You know what I'm saying? Because like he's like, I'm a giant thing. Like I don't care about this tiny little thing that's not gonna feed me.
Yeah, he cares.
Well, I mean, look at the way Justin and I are stroking our chins. Yeah. Like, Max, you just need to see the movie.
All right, I guess I do, but like, no, that's cool to me. I want to see Godzilla take down like a battleship.
And I will say that I don't think this is too much of a spoiler. The fact that like the precursor to Godzilla is like dead fish because of his radioactivity. I thought that was pretty cool.
No. Well, not just dead fish, but I mean,
dead everything.
Just him on his own is like the dead fish is a precursor because even before what happens, he's still a thing. Like, which made me more intrigued. I mean, it's been dabbled with before that even before he gets nuclear, he's something.
Yeah.
And this movie taps into a little bit of like, is he more of a scientific creation, you know, born of the atomic age, or is he more of like a legendary folklorish monster that only came about recently because of the atomic age?
He got awoken. Yeah.
Yep.
I was also thinking about this, and again, this is a spoiler. The fact that he's so radioactive, like I was thinking about the show Chernobyl the whole time. I was like, boy, you might be dead just hanging out in the same vicinity as this dude, and not realize it.
Like, well, run away from Godzilla. It's like, okay, you survived. You survived. Godzilla like walking past you, and then it's like, nope. Got you anyway. Like,
well, Justin, I mean, yep, that too. Yeah. Like even when this movie ends, you're kind of like, oh man, that's depressing.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I will say the only thing that didn't do it for me in this movie was the setting I watched it in, because I did go to the theater for this one.
Not good.
A whole 45 minutes of trailers for starters, and I was like, I had to watch the Argyle trailer, and I wasn't happy about that. But then also, the person I was sitting next to, it started out as a good. It was just me and this person for like the first 15 minutes before, you know, pre-roll and stuff like that, and stuff. And they were just like, "Hey, here for Godzilla?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" He's like, "I just watched Shin Godzilla last night just to kind of have, you know, kaiju stuff fresh in my mind." And so we get into a nice conversation about that, and immediately starts rabbit holing down about putting your woke politics into comic books. And I was just like,
Godzilla.
I was like, cool, man. I was like, just like, this is literally me just being like, have my hat. I'm just like, I'm going to pretend to take a nap while the previews are going, because this person's still talking to me about this. I'm just going to be like,
I'm going to go get some more popcorn.
I'm like, dude, I don't care. I just want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? Hang on.
People are awesome.
Yeah. Well, you were in the theater already. You were watching the trailers for Godzilla, and he's like, "Hey, are you here for Godzilla?"
No. This is like even before the trailer started.
Oh.
Because the thing is, the movie was supposed to start at 1:40. Movie kicks on, or the screen kicks on at 1:40. Then 45 minutes of trailers, and I was like, I was pretty upset.
I would be too.
Yeah, I don't even leave my house to go to the theater until the movie's supposed to be starting. So that way I miss most of the trailers. But even still then, like I would have showed up, it would have been 20 minutes after the movie was supposed to start, and I still would have had to sit through 20 minutes of trailers. Like, that is I
showed up 10 minutes late, and I still was in the middle of, I forget which trailer.
I had my hat pulled down the entire time, and thankfully it was a reclining seat, so I was just like...
You just leave him, just to get back, picture him upright, and you're slowly just like...
I was just like,
goodbye.
Nope. I'll engage as soon as I see that Toho shimmer. I'll be like, what's this? Oh, cool.
Oh, yes. It's like your alarm.
But no, go watch Godzilla Minus One. It is awesome.
It's great.
And on that short list for best visual effects, so here's hoping it gets that too.
Oh, yeah. That's sweet.
It's going to lose to Spider-Man, but, you know, hey, like,
Has to come up with a video game. Then they'll get an award.
Yeah.
He's cascading the give up. All right. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm down for a video game. Like, would you prefer? They've kind of done games like this before, where you can kind of like play the monster, or
I think there is a there is a Godzilla game like that, pretty much. Where...
I think that'd be cool. Like, where it's like, hey, yeah, Rampage, or like, how do we defeat Godzilla?
I feel like if you can make it cheap enough, I think
which is
Jason's
the thing
logged
here.
in as 3 Geeks.
Probably.
Y'all.
Hey, us.
Yeah, hello.
What's
up? But I was thinking about that. I was like, it would be cool to be like just undefeatable in a game and just feel like Superman. Like, there's no replayability. Like, and you might get bored for it for a while. But I think there is definitely. I would love to be like, all right, I don't have to worry about my life, my hit points. I'm just gonna go through and feel real strong.
You know, like that would be a kind of interesting game where it's like, how little destruction can you do? You know, like it's like where it's like you have to like so lightly touch everything. You gotta like try to walk by things without breaking.
Godzilla has to like sidle along.
Yeah.
Like...
I was thinking. So we mentioned maybe making a list of kaiju movies. I was thinking, was it Destroy All Monsters or whatever with like Godzilla's kid?
Yeah,
He's like nursing and he's like trying to like go to sleep. So Godzilla's just in the middle of the night, just trying to like not wake up his child kaiju. Like, don't wake, baby.
He's like holding his tail, like
stubs his toe and immediately goes into like the atomic breath. Like, oh.
Can I just say, just because on my feed there. Like I said, there's been blow up about the video game awards, about the short list for visual effects. And then the third thing that showed up in my feed was also people going back and forth about like Godzilla should be super serious. It shouldn't be cheesy. And I'm like, my favorite moments are when the cheesy Godzilla flicks, when it's just the dude in a suit, when there's like a little bit of human emotion expressed there, like you're saying, like, or when Godzilla just out of nowhere will just randomly like rub his head in frustration, like Shane. Like,
can't protect him, Rick.
Like that, I love those moments where it's just like, let's humanize the ferocious monster a little bit. Sure, we're in the goofy 60s and 70s now. We can have fun with it.
Right.
Look, man. Anyone who wants to, we're talking about a freaking 30-story monster. Like Godzilla couldn't. You want to get serious? Godzilla would buckle under his own weight, like because of physics. Like
if you want his kneecaps just explode.
Like, if you want to get pedantic about like the physics of a creature like that, sure.
Yeah, like bro, you can't have it. You can't have it all. Like, whatever. Like, get pissed. Over something so obviously stupid.
This might be a dumb Godzilla question, but like, why doesn't he like be able to move his arms? Like, I realize other iterations of Godzilla have a very flexible arm thing, but like the one from -1 was very like rigid.
It's very like Shin Godzilla too. He's like T-Rex, and it's that's just a design choice they go with. Because the MonsterVerse Godzilla, he's got that range you're talking about, as we see in this other trailer. I'm sure you've got where he can straight up, sprint. Which everyone is going back and forth in my Twitter feed about this, about how it's like, why can't we have grounded, realistic, depressing gods? It's not depressing, but it's an allegory for the atom bomb. Yeah, he's depressing. But then we can also still have goofy stuff like Kong and Godzilla here teaming up.
Oh my goodness, Kong versus Godzilla, or whatever they're calling that. That movie is going to be so dumb. I am just like, okay.
What a great segue.
Yeah. I'm all for all of it. It's all dumb.
Yeah.
This creature doesn't exist. Have fun with it, or have a serious contemplation on it. Whatever.
Well, I mean, like, I like what you guys are saying, where it's like the people stuff is still watchable in -1.
Right.
But like here, I feel like it's gonna be like the people stuff is where you're like, man, like I can go to the bathroom now.
Oh yeah, these people are action figures. The people in this movie are action figures.
Oh my goodness.
They're selling toys with this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is meant to sell toys and.
But I'm just like, oh, okay, so what's happening here is it's looking like it's going to be Godzilla versus Kong, and then something else is going to come, and they're
an Autobot.
work together.
Well, I think Godzilla and Kong have pretty much resolved their
They're
ship.
Oh,
friends
because it's
now,
a
right?
sequel to the other one, right? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's a sequel to the actual Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, because the same actors and stuff in it.
I haven't watched that one either. I was just like, I'm good.
Has more secrets
It wasn't.
than we could
I mean, it wasn't
possibly
good, but
imagine.
I did mind it.
Yeah, and Hollow Earth.
But it looks like it's going to be pulling more from Kong
Right.
mythos now, because you got Son of Kong now, or Diddy Kong, whatever
Diddy
you want.
Diddy Kong Racing.
That's not Kong.
If he gets caught in a barrel, I'll be very happy.
What if he does a barrel roll?
Put that in
Do
the
a
movie.
barrel roll.
Last minute, Adam Wingard.
Figure it out.
But yeah,
Jurassic Park scene.
yeah. I mean, they're clearly that monkey's got cheeks.
Yeah, he's got
He's been doing squats.
Yeah, every day was leg day for him.
got hops too. Yeah. You don't skip leg day.
He won't be alone.
And I'm all about Godzilla's new color scheme here.
Yeah, the pink.
Yeah, I like the pink.
Yeah.
Barbenheimer.
I
I showed you guys that photo.
He did. It was so good.
The Godzilla Barbie.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Looks like straight out like Planet of the Apes.
Which is also coming out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm so done with Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, there's the arms.
The team up.
he's got like a robot arm or something. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet on him.
Yes.
He's a snap.
But yeah,
New Empire.
a mini Kong.
But yeah, the amount of random profiles I saw in my feed being like, a creature that big shouldn't be able to run that fast. I'm like,
Okay.
a creature that big doesn't exist.
No, physics. Okay, like if you're gonna break it down, break it all the way down. Like no, a creature that big would not gravity. It would kill that thing. It
He's
would
dead.
never
Frame
be-
one. Frame
Yeah,
one
like,
of the movie.
It's just the thing on the ground, like unable to lift itself. Like
A creature that big is a mountain of skin. And
Right.
Nothing else.
And having just watched Minus One, it's like such a crazy sliding scale of expectations. Like you're not going to probably get a good story, but you're going to get cooler visual effects maybe. But like I don't know, just
I'd like to think of Godzilla as one of our most versatile actors, where he can be in some serious, thought-provoking, horrific drama, and then he can do the Marvel Universe shit
yes,
for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
He can be the
The team up
craziest
with King
superhero.
Minus One felt a lot like, all right, doing the prestige work now.
yeah.
This feels like, all right, I get to work with my buddy Kong here in front of a green screen for
It's
a
like
while.
oh yeah, like Michael Bay, full
Yeah.
Bay.
Well, the arm coming out looks like
summer
Bumblebee.
action.
Yep, it did look like a Transformer at first. A lot of people
Right,
were like, is
yeah,
that Transformer?
What a crossover that would be.
I'm all for sophisticated and I'm all for stupid when it comes to Godzilla. Bring it, because
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
I also
Yep.
love the I also love the takes of being like the Showa era, the 60s, 70s era of Godzilla movies were trash. I'm like, cool, you wouldn't be having the movies you're having today without those movies.
No.
Like,
Yeah, and also it's like like you're saying, like this is an allegory for the atom bomb. This is like some of the like when the people that those movies were made for is not you.
yeah,
Yeah, like,
exactly.
Yeah, I remember the audience for the movie for sure.
And yeah, so like if you don't appreciate it, like that's fine, but like it wasn't made for you. Like don't just leave it alone.
Mhm.
But yeah, Godzilla versus Kong, I'm probably gonna pass on that one.
I'll go see it in the theaters just because I feel like the visual effects will be cool enough to warrant like sitting in a theater.
Mm.
But it might be like a one-time watch. Like I could see myself watching Godzilla Minus One a couple of times. I don't think.
I've had fun with the MonsterVerse stuff so far. I do love that it is part of Warner Brothers' whole let's see what works. We'll start off really dead serious with a 2014 Godzilla,
Mhm.
and then slowly but surely they became like a little bit sillier. Like Kong Skull Island. I still think Kong Skull Island's probably the best one in the whole.
Totally agree. I was
the
about
whole
to say the
series.
same thing. Yeah, Constantine was great.
It found the right balance between being campy and fun, but also being pretty grounded and serious. And then came King of the Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong. I'm like, you know what? They are what they are. You know, if they're gonna become goofier, let them become goofier.
Fast and
Because-
Furious universe.
And like I'm a fan of the '90s Godzilla movie where Godzilla comes to New York. Like
Blades of
I know
Rubik.
it's terrible. Yeah, I know it's terrible. But like,
Hey, hot take, Orlando.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's like I'm not defending the movie. Okay, I will not defend that movie.
You
I
should.
enjoy it. Just I don't know. It was the right time. I was the right age. And the Puff Daddy "Come With Me" song like plays in my head, and I'm like, "Here I cry, here I come like Godzilla stomping through New York." I'm
Set
down
to
for all of it.
Kashmir.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my god.
I loved that movie as a kid too. I don't blame you at all. It was my first. I think it was my first kaiju movie.
Yeah.
Think. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
I will
the
say-
Sci-Fi Channel.
That soundtrack though is pretty kick-ass because it has a great rendition of Heroes from the Wallflowers. I really like.
Hmm.
It's got a pretty lame version of Brain Stew from Green Day where every time it's like da but in between every da you hear like you hear the Godzilla donkey yell every time.
Yeah. Well, that I even watched the cartoon based on that movie. There was
Yes,
a cartoon
yes,
that
I was just gonna mention that.
Yeah,
Yes, that
yeah.
was like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
Where Godzilla's working, but then like also when you think about what you guys are saying about like Godzilla actually being radioactive, I'm like, yeah, those people wouldn't have lasted so long. Like,
Well, this movie is the first. -1 was the first time I actually thought about it because I knew like you find Godzilla with the Geiger counter, but like watching the fish die
Right.
and then like having like I was like, well, I mean, human flesh isn't that resistant to nuclear activity. Like you're good.
There's in the original Gojira, there's some allusion to radioactive poisoning and so forth. Absolutely, but it's more about just general fallout of that much destruction. But yeah, this is the first time where it was kind of like, yep, thing that big that's been irradiated would probably leave a lot of like trace of radiation around.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, it's going to leave a path of destruction well after the.
I do love the versatility though. It's like, yeah, we got sillier stuff, but then you got -1. Shin Godzilla, I argue, is far more dark than
Okay.
-1. Have any of you seen Shin Godzilla?
No, I need to though because I've heard nothing but good things, but I haven't had a chance to check it.
It's
out.
interesting because Max, it's from the Evangelion guy,
okay.
so
Okay.
it gets a little weird. But in that one, it's like Godzilla is full on just a force of nature. In that, like, you never get a sense of like there's anything other than just pure impulse behind the eyes because the eyes are like beady to begin with, and he's really horrific to look at.
Yeah, I just pulled up a picture of Shin Godzilla.
Yeah,
He is
Shin
like,
Godzilla is out of
let
control.
me find it. Let me find a better one. It was just the Amazon Prime image of it. I'll find it. One sec.
But also the movie itself, it's more about like what you were talking about with regards to like how do you make a game around this from like say the human perspective. It's about all of the committees in the Japanese government being like, what the hell do we do?
right.
Yeah, like,
It's a lot of meetings and a huge cast of people being like,
I mean,
how do we
like-
handle this?
yeah, like it's something that big was just roaming around, like, and like let's say like we're not trying to fight it or anything, like we're just trying to survive this thing walking around,
Right.
And like yeah, how do you do that? But like yeah, like what can you build that this thing won't instantaneously destroy?
Yeah.
Right. Hang on. I got it here.
But yeah, no. Shin Godzilla is interesting. Like it's pretty quick paced for what it is. The Godzilla sequences are impressive, even though he's clearly not as focused on as he is in other stuff. Like, yeah, he is the problem that the committees need to resolve.
Right. But also, I guess you run into the Iron Fist problem, where it's like, this is a monster movie, and we spend most of the time in boardrooms. Like,
Well, I mean,
Oh my god.
The thing is, the meetings themselves are pretty
sick.
kinetic. Like they're shot really in a really like dramatic way, at least that you're engaged, and they're always constantly hopping around to be like, what does the prime minister think? What does this like chief of security think? And then we're going over to the Department of Transportation. How are they setting up the tanks on the shoreline for this thing? Like, You're never like stopping.
Okay,
So.
yeah, that's good. Because freaking, like when you go to see a monster movie, you're not trying to see 10 dudes in suits talking to each other.
They're not skimping on the destruction either. Like in that movie, his atomic breath is out of control. Like,
okay, so I heard they're calling the breath something else for this movie.
For -1?
Yeah, no, not for -1. For Godzilla and Kong.
I didn't hear.
Oh, okay, yeah, I heard, but I heard they're getting rid of the atomic breath. They're calling it like heat breath or something like that. Oh. And I'm just like, no, it's atomic breath. Like that's just better. Like, why would you don't reinvent the wheel? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to.
Well, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about if his breath is atomic in -1. Like,
very direct.
It's very direct that it's atomic breath.
Yeah.
I gotta go see that. I gotta go. See that.
Everyone listening should go see that movie. It's real good.
So what other kaijus would you get?
Well, yeah, I always thought about Cloverfield. To me, that movie's a kaiju movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I liked that one a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Me too.
Yeah, I honestly did like Cloverfield a lot.
I liked all the little extra monsters that came
just
off
like
of
the hanger-ons.
Yeah, they're like lice or something, like basically the equivalent of lice.
It's like whatever, like little bugs would eat, from its skin or whatever like that, and it's like, oh, they're falling down because he's moving around, and now we got to deal with those, and they're gigantic because that thing is so massive.
And those are arguably worse than the giant creature because they could get you like in houses and stuff. He could step on the house and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
I like Rodan. Rodan had his own series of things for a while before he got lumped in with, Godzilla and company.
So you guys can help me remember, because as a kid, I watched the Sci-Fi Channel's run of kaiju movies. You guys remember those like 24 hours of Godzilla movies and kaiju stuff? Yeah. There was one where I swear there was a flying villain, a flying kaiju that if you got in its shadow, it killed you. It flew over top of you, you died. And I can't for the life of me remember what that movie was, because I remember having villagers in a field running, and this thing flew over, and just the touch of its shadow killed them. And then I thought it was Godzilla that fought him, but something fought it and then won or whatever. But
let me see.
I forget. I remember that. I don't know if I'm totally wrong or if it was just black and white and he was shooting stuff out and I didn't realize it wasn't his shadow. But
I'm looking up kaiju.
I googled it too. And I couldn't think of it. I thought maybe it was Rodan, but
my go-to would probably be Rodan too. Honestly, because that does sound very much.
Because I just remember, I was in my grandparents' house watching it because they're the only ones that had Sci-Fi Channel. I remember on their TV, the thing would fly over and everyone underneath it would die. Now it was black and white, and I was a kid, so maybe he was shooting stuff out, and I just didn't realize it. But
so it was a black and white film.
Yeah, it was black and white. I remember that distinctly, but I don't know. Either way, that was terrifying to me because as a child, I was like, man, if he could just fly over you and kill you, that's terrible.
That's the thing. It's outside of my knowledge of kaiju outside of the Godzilla films specifically isn't as broad. I do know of a couple that obviously had their own franchise. Mothra had her own thing for a while.
Was Mothra ever a villain, or was Mothra always helping?
I thought
Godzilla?
Mothra was helpful.
Yeah, Mothra was always perceived more as an uneasy ally at least, and then a straight up spiritual entity at most, a benevolent entity, because they always had the twins.
Right.
That were either really little or just twins.
What do you guys think about The Mist? I was thinking about that as a potential kaiju.
The Mist is so good.
It does have straight up kaiju in it.
Yeah.
The Mist for me is top 5 best endings to a movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The only better ending that I can think of right now off the top of my head is The Notebook, but
you bring up The Notebook a lot.
The Mist is so good. I mean, I love that you're more afraid of the people than you are of the monsters half the time.
Right.
And then when he goes outside, there's just epic things going on.
But again, it's the scope of the monsters too, because there's that one scene where they, kind of spoilers here, they shiv Sam Witwer, and then they shove him outside the mall, and you just see something out there at first. It's just looming in the mist, and it's enough for everyone to like collectively crap their pants.
Yeah. Or the giant tentacle that comes in and just wrecks that back shop. Like,
Oh, that poor bus boy.
Yeah.
That stupid kid. He's
Oh,
like,
man.
I got this. It's like, and poor Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane, the entire movie is just like, no, don't do that, please.
Yeah,
It's like,
no one
Guys,
knows what's out there.
let's
Can
be
we just
sensible. Come on. No, I'd say the Mist could count. Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
Pacific
definitely
Rim.
Pacific Rim.
The designs in Pacific Rim.
To me, is the most live action anime movie we've gotten in a while. Like
Totally
with
fair.
a big budget. Like they right down to like the two people needing to be in there, like at this, like and do, like dance together to
Right.
to do to move the robots, which I think is like the worst part of it. But yeah, the Pacific Rim was fun to watch for me just because I was like, oh, I'm watching an anime right now. Like,
I mean, Del Toro, he is a fanboy for that stuff. There's that video, that older video where they surprised him with, I think, an Ultraman monster in Japan. Like, it was for a Japanese TV show, and he's sitting in like a restaurant or something like that and being interviewed. And then they had someone come in the costume from the Ultraman show or whatever.
oh, nice.
And like his face, he just goes like, like he's so excited.
He squeezed just a little bit.
A little bit.
I love Ultraman too. That was something I really enjoyed as a kid too. Just the idea of him just getting really big to start punching people. Love it.
Yeah. Oh,
Speaking
yeah.
of-
Sorry, go ahead.
I read this book for a while. It's called Kaiju Max. It's a comic book.
Yeah, I wrote that.
You read that too?
No,
Oh, you
I
wrote that. But
no, sorry, go ahead.
no, I really like it though. It's like, what if Godzilla and Kaiju lore met Oz? Because basically what it is like, what do we do with all these out of control monsters that we can't kill? Let's send them to the equivalent of Monster Island, which is basically a maximum security facility that's monitored by Ultraman people who can blow up and be prison guards for it.
Okay.
And so it's really interesting because you get like the fresh meat of Kaiju Max, and they all have different factions, and there's like a Godzilla parallel who runs like this one faction of Kaiju, and then there's another one who runs another faction of Kaiju, and then his robot counterpart basically runs the Brotherhood of Robot Counterparts on one side of the aisle. It's weird. It's weird and sometimes really funny, but also like gets real at times. I'm like,
That's
oh,
cool. No, I'm down for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I like that it's like, okay, so yeah, whenever a kaiju comes, there's always some evil scientist who tries to make a robot version of that thing, and
Yep.
then they all end up in the thing together. Like,
Yep. Well, no, in the case of this one, like the robot's creator, like his dad essentially visits him in prison.
So that brings up an interesting like kaiju topic that I didn't think about until just now. Is like we have comic books, we have movies and TV. Like what about video games? Do we have kaijus in video games that we like that are like your favorites? I mean, the one off the top of my head is Rampage because it's like ripped right out of like kaijus like King Kong, Godzilla, whatever. Like,
I mean, Godzilla and company have been in like a lot of beat 'em ups and things where the city is the backdrop and things like that. Like you were saying earlier, it'd be interesting to kind of do like a first person survive a kaiju attack sort of.
There was a
There
game
was one?
like that though, where it's like you can either be the monster or like but you're more like a T-Rex or something. Like
well, Jurassic Park had games where like you could either be a dinosaur or a human. Is that what you're thinking?
Okay, yeah, but like there's like a squad. There's like the
Yeah.
alien squad. You know,
Evolve,
where
I think it was called.
yeah,
Oh.
something like that. Yes.
I had
Yes.
that for a while. What sucked about it though is that you can only get enjoyment out of it through online multiplayer. There was no solo campaign
Right.
Ugh.
for either monster or squad.
Yeah. And I know in
sucked.
Overwatch there's a couple different game modes where you can play as a rampaging Winston, and then they've got
That's fun.
Winston's the super smart gorilla, but he's rampaging and they gotta team up, and like he's definitely gonna get kills. It's like, can you defeat Winston before he gets 30 kills or whatever?
Right.
So like there's definitely been some things, but like other than like a straight up, like I know one of the Godzilla games across the board on consoles is like one of the higher end like $70+ games right now. I can't think of the exact title, but it's definitely just like a Godzilla game.
Huh.
So
I will say there's also Earth Defense Force. I didn't even think about it, but you're fighting giant insects. Like I don't know if you consider insects as kaiju, but it's
that works.
massive insects. Yeah.
There was a Japanese exclusive PlayStation game. I saw a video about it where basically you are just a person on the street and stuff, but then like all of like Japanese pop culture creatures converge on Tokyo, and you have to like make your way like Resident Evil style outside of all the different areas, and then you'll have an area where an Ultraman is fighting, say, Baragon or something like that, but then you'll also have like Ringu ghosts or something like that in the hallway that you have to evade. Or so, it was like a hodgepodge, but
so that's like a Cloverfield situation where
very Cloverfield,
generating other things that you have to deal with.
Yeah, basically, but it was like you have to like make it out of each section because all their rights are intertwined and stuff, so nothing would really carry over into another section. So it's like this is clearly Godzilla's section.
Right.
We're right at time, but it feels like they'd be. Have you ever played like those shelter games where you have to kind of like establish a fort, and like build out rooms and find resources, and like you leave your home base, collect stuff. Yeah. What?
Arc. Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like so it's not like an RTS though. You're not talking like a real time.
No. I'm talking like
okay.
Like what was that game? I was thinking about it like you could have a fun kaiju version of that where like when you leave you're trying to get away from the giant monster and kind of bring it back to your home base. Like Fallout Shelter was the mobile version of the type of game I'm thinking of. This War of Mine is what I'm thinking of. Where like it's like you're in the middle of a conflict and like you're just trying to survive as a civilian and you're getting raided. I'm pretty sure this War of Mine's like after a giant apocalyptic event, but like you're raiding like Walmarts and things. You have the opportunity to run into like raiders. If you run into raiders, like most of the time they're better equipped than you, so you get your ass kicked. So you got to head back home, and like you only have really the people are your resources because you could run out of. You start with 3 or 4, and then you start losing them. But like that might be a fun kaiju version of that game somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. That'd be pretty interesting, honestly.
I actually saw somebody on. I was watching TikTok, and this guy is working on his fighting game where it's dinosaurs with weapons.
They're already weapons, though.
Yeah, no, but like they have like giant anime swords and stuff.
Yeah, like mutant dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Well, like giant greatsword with a T-Rex.
Dude, it's sick because like he holds it in his mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like slashing with the sword, and then like whips you with the tail, and like it looks cool as heck. But I was like, all right,
sign me up. Yeah, sign me up. Cool.
You just immediately made me think of something here. I just want to make sure I get it out there for y'all. There's this animator on YouTube that does something. I think it's called Tales of Soria. He's like dinosaur obsessed, so he does like these really great dinosaur animations of like just regular dinosaurs and their habitat stuff. Sweet. But he's doing this like epic fantasy, like Conan meets dinosaurs.
Okay.
It's called Soria.
Soria. S-O-R-I-A?
No, Sauria.
Soria. Dinosauria.
But it's like warrior dinosaurs. Like if Conan the Barbarian was a T-Rex.
Huh. All right.
That's
all right.
I know it sounds, but yeah, it looks dynamic. It looks really good.
Yeah, like no, I'm so down. Like again, like Primal, Eddie Tartakovsky's Primal, so good. I'm down for all that stuff. Like, let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Any other hot button kaiju topics you guys want to cover? We're a little bit past time.
Godzilla sucks.
You know what?
Before I hang up.
Hot button, not really, but you know what? Here's my hot take. It's like I will revisit the Peter Jackson King Kong this weekend because you know what? I'm gonna give it another shake.
That was the Jack Black King Kong, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched it since the theater years ago, and at the time was kind of lukewarm on it. Like visually, sure, it's great and stuff, but really, like he sure milks his time with that movie. I'm gonna rewatch it again. I'm gonna just out of curiosity, be like if I still feel the same way.
I hope maybe I was too young, right? Like maybe I wasn't in the right headspace.
I think I was also like
that movie
after Lord of the Rings, where I'm like, especially after Return of the King, where I'm like, he really does not want to say goodbye to this movie, and then immediately follow that up with King Kong, where it's like, you just got here with this movie and you don't want to say goodbye to it. I was
definitely...
like, I got that impression that he was just like really indulging himself, but also I'm like, there is some stuff I remember enjoying genuinely about it. So see if I can still feel that way.
That insect scene.
It grossed me out. Yeah.
I can't do it.
I don't speak Spanish. So does anyone speak Spanish? Or either way, hello, Adrian. Hopefully I didn't show anything crazy.
No, I don't know what that means. I do speak a little Spanish, but that's outside my.
Well, if I shared something I shouldn't have, I'm sorry anyway.
Right? Yeah. That guy just said something completely genocidal, and you're like,
"Hey, share."
Thank you for watching our podcast. Oh yeah. All right. Well, is that gonna do it? Is that
That's it?
Oh, I think that it might have been a bot. So that's all.
Well,
it's just saying something promo.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, as long as it didn't say anything crazy or rude, I don't care. Whatever.
I think they were saying you can do it, so they might have been referring to my King Kong rewatch. You can do it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we're motivational and multi-language.
Sure.
Yeah. Sweet. We take it that way. All right. I think that's
Did
it.
something happen to your Mallrats poster, or has it always been off kilter? I'm sorry.
That's how it's printed. That's an image on top of the white is also the poster.
The
intentional.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a comic book, so it has to be at a jaunty angle to make it look like a comic book.
I will say, sorry, this is a signed thing, right? We bought it together. Well, it was Max. I have a Dan Aykroyd signed like Skull Vodka thing, and that the sign is just starting to fade. I'm pretty pissed. I don't even know how to protect it. Like it's starting to like. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's
out of the light.
Oh, it's not the actual skull full of vodka. Then it's just like a poster.
No, it is. It's the vodka that he has, and I went to like when he first like published the vodka, he was doing like a tour of it, and he stopped by my local college to sell it at a liquor store, and I got his signed thing. That was a weird experience. That dude, it was all dark. Like if I didn't know it was Dan Aykroyd, I think it wouldn't be Dan Aykroyd. He had a hat on, he had glasses. And he was just in a dark room signing.
That wasn't Dan Aykroyd.
But
you're right; it could not have been. But
well, no.
Dan Aykroyd's signature.
Here's what you do next time.
Otherwise.
Here's what you do next time as a test. You got to ask him just anything about aliens and see if he just starts talking nonstop about it, because he will. Apparently, talk your ear off about extraterrestrial life out there.
Yeah.
I think. Hang on. I think I have a
Dan Aykroyd trap.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Sorry. I'm pivoting here, but I think my friend sent me a picture.
Pivot.
He was the one that made me go with him.
Oh, before I forget to, since we're lifting the pivot joke from Friends, so the movie I watched, Leave the World Behind, has Julia Roberts in it, and her daughter in the movie is obsessed with the series Friends and has watched every episode and is on the finale.
Yeah. How
this little girl didn't have her mind blown when the Julia Roberts episode came in the rewatch, I don't understand. How was she not like, wait a second, Mom?
Yeah, it's very Ocean's 13 where Julia Roberts.
Yeah, where she impersonates herself basically.
Well, I can't find it, but
all right,
I'll show you it. But at some point, there's definitely a picture of me with Dan Aykroyd, and I would show you it.
Dan Aykroyd.
I know, that's what I was trying to show you.
Well. I hate to crush Justin's dreams. You've never met Dan Aykroyd. The signature fading from that bottle is not a bad thing.
Then that's fine. I no longer care. I'll drink the vodka then.
You haven't drank it yet?
Still sealed. Yeah.
Still sealed. Wow.
All right, we're gonna have to crack open some Dan Aykroyd.
I will fight you with my artificial.
The whole deal is like there's no ethanol in it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just pure distillery of.
Yeah, I mean, I can go get it if you want. I still have it, but like.
No, save it for next week. I want you to drink it on camera because I want to see your face when you drink that first shot. I need to see your face when you have your first shot of that vodka, because I've heard it.
Vodka.
Well, no, he had. I remember there was a clip. He had it with Larry King and people were like, I think he just started to kill Larry King with his vodka.
The reactor.
Because Larry was like hacking up a lung afterwards.
Oh
I
my
was just
goodness. Yeah, good luck.
You're not exactly
Good luck
selling
with that.
me drinking this.
Well,
vodka.
he was
No,
already
it was great. It was
well,
fine.
no,
It
because
super
Larry
smooth.
was already like 80 years old and decrepit
already
already.
dying.
He was already dying, I'm sure. So you're fine. You're fit. You're a young man. You can take it.
You'll be fine.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, just make sure you do it on camera. You're gonna be
How
fine.
did Justin die? Well, it
We
was
need-
recorded.
We need more shorts, man. We need more shorts.
My death. I'm
just-
going to die within a minute, so it's
Oh my
the
goodness.
full experience.
Yes.
We're not
No,
getting
we'll
to part 2.
We'll get multiple shorts out of it. Yeah, we can do like a part 2 and a part
I'm just
3.
thinking about the algorithm for you guys. Come on.
I appreciate
Like, yeah.
the thought.
Keep on doing the Lord's work, Mike. That's
Nice. Keep on doing the Lord's work. That's a Grim Reaper's work.
Slowly but surely, I'll inherit everything over this channel.
Justin, have you updated your will recently?
Yes. I'm sure that
Oh.
includes the YouTube channel.
That's right.
Yes.
I did not mind.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, I'm promoting this to the wrong 3.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I'm literally the last one to talk to you about that.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah. I was merely born in the dump.
Would you like a sip of this vodka?
I was molded by it.
It's just-
I heard there's no
precious
ethanol. Hmm.
Okay, we can't go down to Tom Hardy Bane rabbit hole because I'll be here all night.
It's a Saturday night. Let's do a Bane Tom Hardy rabbit hole.
Why would you shoot a man before throwing him from a plane?
You know, Max, I know you love saying like you hate that movie, but you seem to really love
love that
quotes
movie.
from that movie.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Okay, come on.
Follow him.
No, that movie is awful, but quotable. You know, like this, you can't. I will give it that. It is insanely quotable.
You'll just have to imagine the fire.
Just, people are just starting to show up. They're just hearing you quote Batman.
Kaiju, Bane, we've been all over the Baldur's
man,
Gate.
It's a Three Geeks podcast.
Dan Aykroyd.
Without Jason, without direction, without the guy that drives the notes.
Anarchy.
Anarchy.
Pure anarchy.
All right, guys.
Lots of trailers, lots of Kaiju.
I'm gonna call it here.
You son of a gun.
Thank you for watching. It's been awesome. We're Three Geeks. Check out Mike McGTV on YouTube. YouTube.com/Mike McGTV.
Hey, Scott.
He's got.
Scott is here. He is here with us in spirit. Scott, we miss you. We definitely need to have you on. I think we are trying to actually work out something where we get Scott back on.
We
So
love it.
stay tuned for that. I'm the
Manscaped.
Blacksmith here with Justin and Mike. Yeah, Manscaped. Go to Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Promo code 3Geeks. That's the number 3 GEEKS. Gets you 20% off and free shipping. And the lawnmower works. We can at least Justin and I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Recycle your droids.
See everybody.